Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to another video. My name is Naveed Husain and I am a divorce attorney in Chicago. I didn't want to be a divorce attorney, it kind of just happened. And it can get a little rough, right? It can get a little tough listening to people's problems, dealing with the types of things that I see. But one of the things that, I can't check at the door are cases when dads are taken away from their children, right? I've had so many cases where fathers haven't seen their children for a year, for 2 years, for months at a time, days at a time, based off of false allegations, based off of orders of protections and things like that. And really what we're not understanding is the impact that a child has or that a father has on their children. There are certain things that dads provide that moms just cannot provide. Right? We understand the statistics. We see the statistics of children when they come from single mother homes. We know that the crime rate is higher. We know that the rate of dropping out from high school is higher. Their discipline, that ability to control their impulses, all of these things are impacted when dad is not around. And, we do usually blame the mom, and we say that the mom is the one forcing the dad out, which may be true, but really dads kind of need to be convinced of this as well. Many dads, they're out there, they're working, and they don't come home until 8, 9 p.m. Or once they come home, they're in a different world, they're on their phones, or they're always going out, or they're going to play sports, or whatever else they're doing. But really, as fathers, we need to understand that we are important for our children. We need to give and make sure that we have 2 hours each weekday, be it from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. or 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., where we are focused on our children. We're there for our children. We help them with their homework. We roughhouse with them. We play with them. We take them to the park. We play sports. We read with them. We take them to the masjid. We need to have that 2 hours each day. On the weekends, make sure that we're dedicating time to our children. Create that bond, right? And there's this really good book that I just finished reading called The Boy Crisis, right? And I would really encourage everyone to pick this book up, men and women alike, because what it did for me is it really showed me and argued why fathers are important and that fathers do bring something special to the table, right? There's something that fathers bring that mothers cannot bring. For example, fathers are able to enforce boundaries, right? When mother tells the child to do something, yes, they say it over and over and, it becomes nagging. But for the dad, they say it once, the child doesn't listen. They get up and they're going to force them to do it. They're going to take their hand. They're going to do what they need to do. Even if they cry, dads understand that a little pain now is a lot of gain later on. Dads make everything into a game. Right? They're able to take whatever situation, turn it into a game, get the child involved, kind of get them, comfortable so that they can express themselves. Dads are great at roughhousing. They're able to kind of get, their children comfortable with their bodies. They force their kids to take risks. They force their kids to go to the limits. They understand that even if a child doesn't want to, the child's crying, the dad will be able to work through that crying, get them over that hump so that they're able to accomplish what they set themselves out to. And the biggest thing that dads provide their children is the ability to delay their impulses, right? Delay their gratification. They show them social skills. They teach them empathy. Right? All of these unmotivated boys out there, all of these boys living in their basement, these boys who are not doing good in school, who don't have social lives, who aren't able to express themselves, a majority of this can go back to fathers. And so this author, realizing the importance of fathers, really ends up giving 4 bits of advice and 4 kind of standards that we should use when we're thinking about divorce, when we're thinking about taking dad out of the equation. So let's go to number 1, equal parenting time. We have this concept of every other weekend. And what happens in every other weekend is that dad is only having fun time. But dad's not involved in school, dad's not involved in homework, dad's not involved in the real day-to-day grind of being a dad. So how are we going to expect dad to do all those beneficial things that they're supposed to do? That every other weekend isn't providing the appropriate balance to raise those well-balanced, well-rounded children. So we need to be okay with having equal time, right? This whole thing about dad never did anything. He doesn't do anything. He never changed a diaper. He never fed anything. Well, he's going to have to learn, right? He's going to have to learn. The second thing was not bad mouthing, right? The author argues that women are 5 times more likely to bad mouth their husbands compared to husbands bad mouthing their wives, right? And this has a very negative impact on children. They start hating themselves because they understand that they came from their dad, and they start to distance themselves from dad. They start to, see them as a villain. And you can imagine that if you have daddy issues, we talk about this all the time. Daddy issues is a very big deal when it comes to both boys and girls. Insecurities, that anxiety, that depression, all comes from having quote unquote daddy issues. Number 3 is proximity. Okay, and this is for moms and dads. If you're getting divorced, live 5 to 20 minutes away from each other. Stay close, so that you're not in a different neighborhood or a different social setting, that when your child comes to your house or to mom's house or to dad's house, that they have the same group of friends. They can still go to school. They're still involved in the same masjid. Try to live close to each other, right? And fourth and finally, and I don't know if this is really going to work, is counseling, right? Even after you are divorced, you are still parents to this child, okay, to these children. And if the two of you still have problems, the two of you cannot communicate, that's going to have an impact. So go through counseling, go through classes to learn how to communicate, learn how to co-parent, right? Every single case, every single courthouse requires you to go through co-parenting classes. Really take this seriously, right? I hope and I pray that inshallah our community can become more mature, take away the animosity. If you have to divorce with graciousness, right? Divorce in kindness, divorce in a way that doesn't impact our children. And dads, I'm talking to dads and moms, understand the importance of dads. Understand that if we want well-rounded children, dads must be involved. Dads have to step up. Dads, being a father has to be your purpose, right? That is the main goal, the main function, the main way that you can get to Jannah, inshallah, is by raising righteous children. We know that deen is passed on from the father. I mean, there's research about this. Like, there's no denying it, that if we want our children to become Muslim and be Muslims and be upright and to have values, that's going to come from the dads. So I pray, inshallah, that dads, we step up, that we father our children and create the next generation, inshallah. Until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.